Hi, I'm Jenny Russell with Home Solutions, Inc. I am a basement remodeler here in Denver, and I've entered the CARE Awards 2 years in a row, and both years I placed awards for my projects, and this year I'm going to be a judge. I'm very excited about that.
So how did you feel about entering that first year?
The first year I was very nervous. I had no idea what to expect or what was expected of the presentation that I did. So I came to the How to Enter and Win presentation, which was a great help. I learned a lot of the do's and don'ts of how to present the projects and what types of projects to enter, and as well as making sure that you have both before and after photos. Extremely important, so they can see how the project went, where it started and where it ended.
Was it hard to do the binders?
No, the binders were very easy as long as you follow the instructions, which I think they were very clear. It's, you fill out the project information sheet and write a project statement, and the advice that we got was to keep the project statements very to the point, maybe use bulletins, just keep it short and simple as to what it is, and then make sure to try to have before and afters that match as close as possible.
And did you take advantage of some personal counseling with some of the members of the CARE committee?
I did. Doug Walter was a great help in guiding me on how to put the binders together and making sure that they looked right and they were what the judges were looking for.
Would you be, you and other members of the committee, even though you're judges here, be willing to do that for any potential entrant?
I couldn't because I'm a judge, but other members of the committee can absolutely help guide people and give some advice on binders prior to them being submitted.
And how has winning CARE kind of helped the business?
Well, we've gotten a lot more leads through the advertisements and promotions that have gone on about the CARE winners, which is definitely helpful. Got a few jobs out of those. So that always helps business more. It's kind of free advertising, which is fantastic.
And the company's pretty happy with you winning CARE?
Yes, the company is ecstatic that we won. They were the first years that we've ever entered for anything, any kind of prizes. So they were very, very excited when we brought home some awards that year. So for good befores, you want to get a good overall view of the space that you're going to be remodeling. They don't have to be super pretty. They can be done, with a phone if needed. Just any befores that you get, but you don't want anything too close up. You want to show the whole space so they can really see what it looked like before you got done with your project. And then for afters, we definitely recommend having them professionally photographed. You will get much, much better results. And good lighting, and try to make them as close as possible to what your befores were. Sometimes it's hard to make them match up because you don't know exactly what the end result is going to be. And if you're looking at starting a project that you're thinking you may want to enter, it's a great idea to go back and get additional before photos, since you know at that point what the final space is going to be looking like.
How would you recommend people arrange the befores and afters in the binder?
Well, you want the befores and afters to be on facing pages. The before photographs shouldn't necessarily be the same size as the afters. They can be smaller, so you can get maybe 2 to maybe 3 or 4 on one page befores if you're looking at one area of the space. So the before and after should be a very simple floor plan, not blueprints, no dimensions, no company logos. Just a simple drawing that shows what the space looked like before and what it looked like after, and have them both labeled. This is before and this is after. They should be next to each other so they can quickly glance and see what was changed.
How about tips on writing a good project description for CARE?
Your project description should be very short and sweet and to the point. Bullet points work great. The judges don't have a lot of time to read through paragraphs and pages. It just needs to be very short and concise.
So one page?
One page.
Hi, I'm Doug Walter. I'm an architect. I've been a member of the CARE committee for 18 years, and I've also entered CARE for about 15 years. The 3 years I didn't enter, I was a judge, which gives me an interesting perspective on how to enter and win CARE. It's a great contest. What's nice about CARE is it's the only contest in Denver specifically for remodeling design that allows you to enter any project you want. We have numerous categories. We even give the judges the authority to create categories where none exist. So, and it's also a fair contest. You don't have to be a member of the HBA to enter. We open it up to the entire community. It's a blind judging, so the judges have no idea who the entrants are until after the judging. And one of the exciting things for the CARE committee members is that after the judging is done, when we see who won, and then compare it to the entrance list and look at who has won, and we're always excited when it's somebody new who's never entered CARE before. So I'm encouraging you to get off your butt and enter CARE this year. It's way easier than you think. Now I've got a few tips for you about how to enter and win. One thing I would encourage you to do is share the time and expense of entering with your co-entrants, the members of the team. If you're an architect, enter with your contractor, enter with your kitchen designer, enter with your interior designer. That brings the cost of photography down to almost nothing. And since you kind of shared the blood, sweat, and tears of the project, you ought to share the glory. I also kind of echo what Jen said, that good photography is pretty essential. I would invest in some, if not all, professional photography. The before pictures, you don't want professional. As a matter of fact, the worse they are, the better your afters are going to look. I would also encourage you to enter more than one project. It's just as easy if you're doing one binder to do two. It's just as easy to do three if you're doing two. You can also enter one project in several categories. I wouldn't go too wild with that, but for instance, you have a whole house remodel. You might have a sweet little powder room that you could enter in the bath category, or it could have a basement theater or something that you might enter in specialty while you're entering the rest of the house and whole house. One thing I would urge anyone who's thinking of entering is to make it easy for the judges to judge it. They don't have a lot of time. There will probably be at least 50 to 70 entries this year. I've judged contests, national contests that had 300 and 400. So the amount of time spent per binder is minimal. That's why you don't want to spend a lot of time writing text. You want to make it easy to understand. You want to put befores directly opposite the afters. You want to make very clear and legible floor plans. And one little tip I would give you is to think about doing captions for your photography. It really helps direct the judges to what you're trying to say. One thing that's very important is you can't win CARE unless you enter. So get out there, buy your binder, make a commitment, start putting it together. The sooner the better, because it's always going to take longer than you think. What's nice about entering CARE is it's a local contest. It will result in direct leads for your business. Unlike some of the other contests, the national contests, which as prestigious as they are, they don't have a local connection. So CARE is the most important contest that you will probably ever enter. It's important. It's easy to enter. The CARE committee is there to help. So please take advantage of our advice for some reassurance in putting your bind together. Start now. Get your before pictures, get a binder, start putting it together, find out what you're missing, and then make a checklist and get it done.